Dushthaven was a quiet moon with big skies. The sun looked small. The wind drew long lines in the dust. People worked hard and spoke plain. They raised crops, fixed machines, and watched the storms that rolled down from the high ridges. Everyone knew the name Harlan Ward. He was the sheriff and the richest landholder on the moon. He had many friends, many contracts, and many rules. When he smiled, most people smiled back, even when they did not feel like it. Sheriff Ward liked to make his power look easy. He liked to be the one who solved problems, and he liked to pick who got the bright lights when people clapped. He had one child, Mira Ward. She was an engineer who used an exo chair. Years ago, a hover glider stalled in a thin air pocket and set her down hard. Her spine never fully healed. She did not hide it. The exo chair was brushed steel and smooth carbon. It hummed in a gentle way. She moved with care and with focus, and her clear eyes missed very little. Mira had many ideas and a quiet way of making them real. On Dusthaven, quiet work did not always get respect. Her father liked to boast. He did not always hear her voice when she offered a simpler and safer path. Many times she watched him sign a contract with a firm he liked, even when her plan would save cost and help more people. She loved her home and she loved good work. But she did not love feeling like a sign on a wall that people walked past. Out on the flats lived Jace Anwar. He ran a bio-ranch for storm grazers. The animals were tall and gentle. Their fur held a faint charge from the dry air and their hooves spread wide on dust. They grew well on thin grass and mineral licks. Jace guided them with drone shepherds and a herd AI that watched the sky for storm signs. At night, the ranch lights blinked like small stars in a narrow line, marking the edge of safe ground. Jace was not rich, but he was steady. He paid his crew on time, kept gear clean, and spoke straight. When machines failed, he opened the casing and taught the fix. When his people did well, he said thank you where others could hear. His ranch had a calm feeling. The crew knew that steady, quiet work kept everyone safe when the wind rose and the magnetar flares rolled down from space. One calm morning, a courier drone landed in Jace's yard. It carried a metal tube with the sheriff's seal. Jace broke the seal and read a notice that said, "By town authority, Mira Ward is assigned to assist at Anwar Ranch for a term." The words sounded official. But the tone was strange, almost like a dare. At the bottom was a smile line in the sheriff's own hand. Best of luck. Jace did not like it. People were not equipment. He called the town office and asked for the clerk. The clerk, who sounded nervous, said the sheriff had signed an interagency support form. It looked legal, but it felt wrong. Jace looked at the open land beyond the fence. He thought about what kind of house he ran. Then he sent a message to Mira Ward directly. His message was simple. "I have a paper here that says you are assigned to me. I do not agree with that, but if you want to come as a paid consultant on your terms, I will meet you at the gate at noon. If you do not want to come, I will back you. Say the word." Mira's reply came fast. "I will come as a consultant, not as a thing to be moved around. Thank you." At noon, the dust line on the road grew into a small caravan. Mira came in a clean Rover with a simple trailer. Her exo chair rolled down a low ramp. She wore field clothes, a brim hat, and a set of tools mounted under the chair's armrest in neat clips. Jace walked out to greet her. He did not offer pity. He offered shade and water and the tour of the yard, the pens, and the drone hangar. He said, "Your work, your call. Where do you want to begin?" Mira smiled. It was a tired smile, but bright around the eyes. "Let me see the herd AI and the storm logs," she said. Inside the hangar, Jace opened the console. He showed how the drone shepherds fanned out and nudged the herd with soft sound. The AI took in wind, dust levels, and sky charge. It drew patterns and set paths. On most days, the system worked well, but Jace pointed to gaps. When the magnetar flares roll past, we lose signal jump. The AI grows slow. It makes guesses that are fine in clear weather, but poor when the wind flips. We have had near misses. No one got hurt, but I do not like near misses. Mira rolled closer. She set her tools on a small shelf. Her hands moved with care. She asked for last season's raw data. Jace loaded it. The data streamed across the screen. Wind, heat, dust, signal noise, drone paths, animal heart rates from the collar tags, and the weak pulse from the magnetar flare alarms. Mira watched with a still face, then asked for the same data during calm weather. She placed the two windows side by side. She said, "The AI trusts live pings too much. When the sky grows loud, it loses the pings and guesses wrong. But we still have other clues. We have inertial movement. We have the animal's own steady rhythms. We have light reflectors that still work even when the radio does not. If we add a mesh of simple micro-drones with short range and give them a basic rule set, we can guide the herd by shape and timing, not by distant orders. We can route around the noise. Jace listened close. He liked plans that used what people already had. He liked small tools that did one job well. "Show me," he said. Mira drew a simple picture. She did not use big words. She said, "We put small reflectors on poles across the pasture. We use micro-drones as runners. They can talk to each other over short hops. They do not need a high tower or a strong beam. The mesh will move with the herd like a smart cloud. The herd will feel calm guidance, not push and pull. The AI will watch slower, deeper signals. It will count steps and turns, not just pings. My exo chair can link to a haptic rig. If the mesh sees a gap, I can give a small cue with a touchpad. It will be like guiding a boat by current." Jace nodded. "Let us build one field. We will test on a small herd." They got to work. Jace brought out a bin of old drone parts, spare antenna, and thin foil sheets. Mira sorted the parts by hand and by sound. She tapped a small motor to feel how smooth it ran. She cleaned contacts and replaced a broken mount with a clip from her kit. She showed Jace's crew how to cut reflectors from scrap film and mount them on light poles with elastic bands. She moved with steady grace in her exo chair, rolling across cables and over small bumps without worry. By evening, they had 10 micro-drones and a tent full of poles ready to carry at dawn. Jace made a clear rule for the crew. We speak to Mira as lead on the mesh. We stay with the plan. We report problems fast and calm. He knew that good teams came from good habits. A team that stayed calm could solve most things. At dawn, they set the poles in a line like low stars. The micro-drones rose in a soft hum and took their points above the herd. Mira linked her chair to the haptic pad and took a breath. A small tremble in her hand settled as she rested her wrists on the pad's soft edge. "Begin," she said. For the first 10 minutes, the mesh moved like a slow dance. The drones echoed each other. The reflectors made clean shapes that the herd could see even in glare. The animals responded with a smooth shift. Jace felt relief rise warm in his chest. Then a gust hit from the east and kicked dust into the line. One micro-drone, old and stubborn, lost track and drifted. 2 more followed it like ducklings. The mesh sagged on one side. The herd turned too far. Mira did not panic. She made 2 small presses on the pad, waited 3 breaths, and then made 1 longer press. She spoke softly into the mic. "Runner 7, mark. Runner 8, step in. Runner 9, hold." The drones moved back in place. The mesh took its shape again. The herd settled. A low cheer moved along the fence. Jace realized he had been holding his breath. He let it go and laughed once, quick and bright. They kept the test going through the morning. The mesh learned the shape of the land. The herd learned the soft cues. Mira kept her presses small and rare. She said, "The system must not depend on me. It must stand on its own in most cases. I am here to teach it how to behave." In the afternoon, the sky alarm chimed. It was not loud, but everyone heard it. A minor flare was rolling past the magnetar. The radio bands would grow thin. Jace felt the old worry start in his stomach. He looked at the herd. He looked at the drones. He looked at Mira, who sat tall in her chair and watched the data like she watched a bird land. "Let it come," she said. The flare washed over the field like a silent wave. The big AI console stuttered, then filled with question marks. The high tower dropped to a long pause, but the mesh kept talking in short hops. The reflectors were just light and shape. They did not care about sky noise. The herd followed the soft line toward the shaded ridge. The micro-drones counted steps. If one lost a hop, the next carried the message. The haptic pad stayed quiet in Mira's hands. She did not need to press. By evening, the herd stood safe by the ridge and the flare had passed. The crew had learned something new about their land. Jace felt a clean kind of joy, the kind that came after a simple plan worked the way it should. He turned to say thank you, but Mira was already taking notes. She listed what failed, what worked, and what to improve. Her list was plain and clear. The fuel hold felt like a shadow over the yard. It was quiet, but it touched everything. Jace looked at the stacks of parts and the open logbooks. He looked at the herd, calm under the morning light. He looked at Mira, who sat in her exo chair with her notebook open and her eyes steady. "We count first," she said. "Then we act." They counted. They listed every full cell, every half cell, and every small charger that still worked. They counted old wind spinners stacked behind the barn. They counted foil, wire, and poles. They counted spare motors. They counted meals in the pantry and water in the tanks. It was not enough for a long fight, but it was enough to move. Mira made a plan with simple steps. We build power from the wind, she said. We stretch the mesh. We ask for help in the open with clear rules. We do not hide, Jace called the crew. He spoke in the same calm voice he used before a hard day. We will not stop. We will change how we work. We will get better. They set up small kite turbines with light frames. The wind on Dusthaven loved to pull at ropes and sing at edges. Now it did work. The crew ran lines and tied knots. A young hand named Bimmy learned to watch the line angle and shout when a kite was set. A quiet mechanic named Elva wound coils and marked each one with a stripe so the team could swap them fast. Mira rewired a corner of the hangar into a simple charging bay. She mounted an old pedal generator next to her station. When cells ran low, Jace sat and pedaled with a smile and a breath, steady as if he was walking a fence line. He said it slowed his mind in a good way. Other crew took turns and played a game of counting to 100 with each person adding 5. By noon, they had a small trickle of power. It was not fancy. It was human work, wind work, and careful hands. Then they called people. Jace used the open band. He invited neighbors to a meeting in 2 days at the town shed. Bring your questions, he said. Bring your eyes and your notebooks. We will show logs. We will show how the mesh works. We want to start a co-op so that each ranch can build and share. If you agree, we sign together. If you do not, you walk away. No pressure. No tricks. Mira sent a message to the Kel trader who had helped with the light coils. The trader's name was Leo. Leo replied at once. I will come, the message said. I will bring more coils. I will bring simple glide film. I like how your mesh moves. It is honest. 2 days passed like one long breath. The crew taught kids to cut reflectors. They trained new mesh runners to climb poles, check lines, and count beats before a big change. Mira drilled the team on a rule she liked best. 3 breaths before you move, 3 breaths after. She said it kept hands steady and minds clear. The town shed meeting was full. People came with hats in hand, dust on boots, and old worries on their faces. They did not want to fight. They wanted to understand. Mira rolled to the front next to a board covered in clean paper. Jace stood by the console with the logs ready. Mira spoke first. Her voice was not loud, but the shed was quiet, so everyone heard. This mesh is not mine alone, she said. It is many hands. We used scrap and simple ideas. We did not hide the parts. We did not lock the plan. We want a co-op so that you can build your own pieces and make them better. The design is open. No one can take it and claim it as their private thing. We wrote a clear license for that. She held up a slim folder. Here are receipts for parts I bought. Here are logs of our tests. Here are copies for you. Jace showed charts with plain lines. He showed calm heart rates in the herd during a flare. He showed how a micro-drone lost its point and how the mesh closed the gap. He did not brag. He said, here is where we were lucky, and here is where we can improve, and here are our failures and what they taught us. Leo, the Kel trader, spoke next. Leo's voice had a soft echo like it came from a shell. These humans built with care, Leo said. They listened to the land. This is good work. It is simple and strong. I will support your co-op with fair trade. People nodded. The air felt lighter. Then the sheriff walked in. Harlan Ward wore a pale coat and a quiet smile. He moved with the ease of a man who felt a room tilt his way. He raised a paper and said, Friends, I too care about safety. I respect good work. That is why I ask caution. Unlicensed field systems can fail. They can hurt stock. They can harm children. This mesh belongs under one roof with one sign. We have a duty to the town. He held up a second paper. I also have a family duty. Mira, you are my daughter. I am proud of your spirit. But we must bring this home. Let us make it proper. Bring the plans to my office. We will register, test, and sell under one name. We will keep people safe. Mira turned her chair to face him. Her eyes were calm. Father, I came to Jace by choice, she said. I work by consent. I did not hide my work. I do not sell what the community can share for free. I wrote a clear license. It says this plan is open, and it stays open. We make it safer by letting many eyes test it and fix it. We keep people safe by telling the truth. The room stayed quiet. People looked down at their hands and then up again. They were thinking about storms and fences and nights when a light in the distance meant help. A teacher in the back raised a hand. "If the plan is open, then we can all fix it," she said. "If one ranch fails, another can help." "I like that." A repair tech said, "The sheriff's towers cost too much. We all know it. If this mesh can help us hold the line in a flare, I want it." A neighbor spoke, voice tight with old fear. "A year ago, we lost calves in a storm because the tower dropped. I still hear them. If this can stop that, let us sign." The sheriff's smile held, but it did not reach his eyes. He lowered the papers. "You choose," he said. "But choose with care. I will watch. If harm comes, I will act." He left with quiet steps and a soft dust trail. They took a vote. Hands rose. The co-op passed with nearly every hand in the air. They signed a one-page charter. It said, "We share designs. We share tests and logs. We tell the truth about failures. We help each other first. No one owns the mesh alone." Mira placed the signed charter in a clear sleeve and tapped the table with one finger once. "Thank you," she said. That night the sky alarm sang a sharp tone. It was the storm tone that no one wanted to hear. It meant a magnetar flare and a cyclone band at the same time. The forecast said 2 days, then changed to 1. The wind would come hard and fast. The radio bands would go thin. The valley would test every wire and every hand. Mira did not look afraid. She looked busy. She turned the yard into a small command post. She pulled up a map of the valley and drew paths with big, simple lines. "Here are shelters," she said. "Here are pinch points. Here is where dust makes the air thick. Here is where the herd can lock up if the mesh is slow." Jace took the Western Ridge teams. Elva and Bimmy took the South Flats. Leo set up a light thread across the main path so reflectors would not hum too loud and snap lines. The teacher from town brought students to cut and tape. Elders cooked soup and set out water. A nurse placed bright tags in a neat row and said, "Green is fine. Yellow is help soon. Red is help now." It was all simple. It made sense. They trained signals. They kept words short.